everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to share with you a little story of how my journey from South Africa to Ireland was. Basically my first time traveling, my first time being on a plane. So also my first time touching down, you know, on the European continent. So I think it was on a Friday, June, many years ago. I was like very young at the time, and yeah, I think it was my dad that took me to the airport that day. And one thing for sure was only a few people that I trusted knew about my traveling. I think it was my friend Bebetsi knew, that was my best friend at the time, and Uvuyo knew, and all family members knew, and my grandmother, she was still alive at the time, Kamvelasi. Yeah, and my dad took me to the airport, dropped me off. He couldn't stay because he was, you know, he had to go to work, and back then you would not even like have an entourage of people basically taking you to the airport, so you had to, hey, squeeze yourself. Gautrain was not there. There was just no means of transportation. Even if someone was to take you to the airport, you would hire a taxi, those taxis back then, and then they will drop you off, or a family member will take you there. And if they have their own car, they can basically wait around. But my dad at the time was using a company car. That meant he would just drop me off and basically drive back to Midrand before 5, before he closes, and then go and drop the company car. So that's actually what happened there. So I was by myself, really excited, but there was one element that I really never told anyone, that I was overthinking the takeoff. Actually, we boarded the plane, we sat down, and I was sitting next to two gentlemen, very lovely guys from Cape Town. I think it was a group of 5 guys. They were traveling together. 3 were in the front, and then 2 were at the back with me. And you know, they get to tell me that as they were about to sit down, because I was there first, and they introduced themselves and they told me, oh, we are traveling as a band and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and then I sat down. Really, I'm just tucking away my passport, tucking away my things, because I was only carrying sort of like a small handbag at the time. I've checked in the one luggage that I had, right? I then sit there quietly, look around where I was sitting, what's in here, those little pockets in front, in front of your seat and stuff like that. And after a number of minutes, like, I'm like, okay, you know, when are we taking off? And there's 2 gentlemen, they look at me, they say, oh, we have been on air for some time now, maybe 20 minutes. Oh my god. I was like, what? And they went like, oh yes, we are already on air. And I was like, oh, thank God. Do you know why? Because I was waiting for that moment, and it was nighttime, my darlings. So I was waiting for that moment where I am going to see the plane basically, like, or feel it taking off. Didn't feel anything. And I'm suspecting that the flight at the time, or the aeroplane itself, might have been, you know, those Airbus. It must have been a big or a huge aeroplane, because really there was nothing. I didn't feel anything at all. And I know that feeling, you only get it when you get to travel with those big ones. You won't feel much, to be honest with you. And yeah, really, it was a pleasant journey. We arrived, it was in Netherlands. In Amsterdam, Schiphol Airport. I didn't travel Air France at the time. I think it was Amsterdam. At Schiphol, I arrived there. Once you get out of the plane, you go to look for the flight where you are going to board your plane, when you'll be, like, you know, taking off again. So I was on transit at this moment, and I smell coffee everywhere, and coffee was not a common thing for me then, you know. There's coffee everywhere, and I'm surprised by, you know, only, and I'm like, where is, do you know what I mean? I don't see us, you know, and I'm like, oh wow. You know, here and there I see, and I'm like, okay, but you know, there was that weirdness of being sort of like a minority for the first time, or you just felt like, okay, yeah, you know, it's you. Even in the plane, really, I saw that, but I didn't mind that much. It was when I was landing, that's when it really hit home, like, okay, this is Europe, my love. And I was on transit anyways. Time comes for me to board. This time around, darlings, it's a small plane during the day, in the morning, around 10 in the morning. And I'm so panicky now. I'm so, you know, I like I get sharp when you get something am I gonna get sick? Am I, you know, hey Lena. Then we take off. I tell you, this time I'm seeing everything. Do you hear me? I see everything. Positioning, everything. Hey, bona ke arabella at this point. Ke bitsa badimo ba gesho, what's working bona, the way I was taught. Ke ba bitsa for like re tla mo. E tla ni mo le tlo protect ngwana le na show. You know? And you know, yeah, it takes off because it's small, you know. You hear everything, like you hear everything, and then all of a sudden we are in up there. I look down, and I was sitting on the window seat, and I'm like, I see the clouds. I was like, okay, we're above the clouds. Oh, Then patches of, like, you know, no clouds there. I see water. Ooh. Then what's this? Now they are thinking, already, how are we going to survive if anything is going to happen? Because Runa aparin kapi ari khone go swima ongwa yo that day I suffered, yo. I'm thinking like, yo, happen na ke hlapi ha ke khone go swima jwale ga go ka I had to again collect myself, put myself together and say, you are here, you are doing this, and here, be straight. I got relax. Then I hear the captain of the flight now telling us like we're about to land, and then again I go like, huh? And now when I go, huh? I'm like, okay, now I see, like, it's beautiful, like I see, you know, the landscape, oh my goodness, but again, water. I'm like, what? Water? Water again. I'm like, woohoo. It was just water that was scaring me at this point. Then I'm noticing like really we're about to land soon, because now I see everything. Like I can see like farms and stuff like that. I see water close by the ships or the boats, you know, and all of a sudden the plane is here and there's a highway. I see cars and I'm like, oh my god, what if? Relax. And all of a sudden I see like the plane is descending. I was like, okay, this is us. See buildings and stuff, and I'm like, okay. Oh, I survived the fish. That's just how I felt that day. Water is my thing. I don't want to use my fear because I don't want it to continue. You know what I mean? I'll just say water is my thing. I'm working on that. One day I shall share a different story when it comes to water. I am not, especially because I can't swim. Then, well, the plane lands and we now go to customs. When we get to customs, like you have to give me your passport and your return ticket and like, you know, some documents that you have to depending on the country where you're going, you have to give them. And I do that, and this person goes like, how long you gonna be here? I was like, what? How long you gonna be here? Ah! I'm like, can you please speak in English? This man spoke to me in English, but your girl did not get a thing. I was not hearing anything, because the accent was an accent that I've never heard of. I've never heard anyone speak like that. And really, it was a bit of a struggle there. I then just nicely requested, like, please just call someone, call someone that could basically come and help me, because I don't know what you're saying, I don't hear what you're saying, and this could basically go on and on, And then he looks over to his colleague and he smiles, and then he stands up from his seat, and then he goes, he comes back with this lady, and this lady comes to me and says, well, how are you? But I can hear her. You see, those are the things about humans. We are created differently. Some people speak too fast, and if you're not used to the accent, you won't be able to hear them. That is just what it is. Even like the same language, but if like a speedy and you are not used to speedy, you might, like everything was processed, and then I got all cleared. I now had to proceed and go to the baggage area. Going to collect my bag now, and I'm excited now. I'm like, okay, I want to see outside. Get to take my bags. Darling, I'm traveling, I'm wearing heels, South African, the boots, they were like ankle boots, and I can't remember, I bought them somewhere in Joburg. Or when I go Joburg, yeah, there were some shops more like how only Edgar's back in the day. I don't know if that Edgar's is still there. I bought them shoes from there. Beautiful shoes, I love them. I begin now. I mean, heel at that time, Kimo, Wangwa Kimo. Hi, luggage yaka sepela. But where we are going, it's an hour drive. But as soon as we step out of the airport, I'm like, oh, it's gone. They say to me, but it's summertime. I'm like, no, not for me. It feels like winter. It doesn't feel warm to me. And at that time I was carrying Wanyana. She has been with me for, real leather, my loves, for the longest time. It's a blazer. It's a leather blazer, and I love it to bits. Then I come on chabe. I'm like, I'm gonna cut. That's an akoloying. I begin all like, and on our way, I'm looking outside the window. I'm not talking at this point. I'm just looking outside the window. I'm like, oh wow, it took me by surprise. And I'm like, okay, and finally we arrive at a little town like that, Drogheda. At that time, get try to pronounce, what is it called? Drogheda. Oh my god, I know. Then they all laugh and they said, oh, this is how you pronounce it. It's called Drogheda. And I was like, okay, okay. And then yeah, man, it's a little beautiful town. And then we drive past it. Now we are nearing the town where I am going to. We arrive there, I refresh myself, and after like a few minutes now we are heading out to the shops. And I think the first shop that I went to was Tesco's. We arrive at the Tesco's, and the shock of my life now, I look around. I mean, from like, the packaging, I don't see anything that I know. I'm like, what is this? I'm used to being inside Pick n Pay. I'm used to being inside Checkers. I'm used to being inside Woolies. I'm used to being inside ShopRite back then. And this is different for me. The packaging, everything. And yeah, we buy bread. I can't remember, a few things like, yeah, like and all that. So we then go back home and all that. That day I slept without eating, because when we went back, I tried to make sort of like boroto limai. Boroto bola didn't taste like boroto for me, you know, and I was like, okay, okay. So I was then like, I can't eat anything, the food is different. That is me in my head, but that was not the case. It was just weird, to be honest with you, like, but the outside scenery, everything, you know, it was a laid back area, beautiful, but I was very cold. I have to mention that in June I was still very cold at the time. Now I just wanted to share with you this story because each time I revisit my first time coming here, I mean, I always go back, you know, to OR Tambo, how I boarded the plane, how it just comes back. It's always fresh to me. It was a very exciting time, scary at the same time, but being me, you know, I do all things new most of the times. So if you enjoy this video, please subscribe, like the video, and I am looking forward to interacting with you once again. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in.